Anybody has anything else? Talk about, share about whatever we studied or some other spiritual thing?
Yeah, I want to get some clarification on what Buddha called shunya. Was it dropping off all the desires altogether, so you have no grief at all?
Yeah, he went that route, true. So I think the way personally I feel from whatever I've studied and seen and, through Bal Vihar and all that, that Buddha, whatever his principles are, up to a certain point, it is just same like Sanatan Dharma. The only difference is he didn't talk about the self. He didn't talk about the God factor. And like Sarvapriyananji explains it, neither he said it is there, nor he said it's not there. He was silent on that part, right? But then still he had to explain this. So what they call shunya, in Vedanta, they call it purna. Purnamada, Purnamidam, right? From that. So the reason his main thing was at that time when Buddha was born and he saw so much pain in the world and people were just suffering, like anything, because they thought they were the body, mind and intellect like that. So how to alleviate that suffering? So that's why I said, ye jo dunya na dukhalay hai. Everything is dukh. How to get over that dukh, So then you meditate on basically he just was saying that get away from this changing thing, But then he called it shunya. Some people can get satisfied in that, but others might have a question. Hey, what is this shunya? Just like you are having that question. Some people might feel, hey, as long as I don't have suffering, I'm happy. Others may say, no, I want to know something more. That's when our Vedanta comes in. That's how I feel. That, Vedanta is all the answers.
But I think Buddha knew beyond that.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. That's my personal opinion. But he didn't want to confuse people too much. Yes. He wanted to simplify. It's just like, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He came, it's a Hinduism only, whatever if you say Ek Onkar and all, starts with the Om only. Karta Puruk, whatever. If you read that whole thing and translation is pure Vedanta. But he saw that people were just getting stuck at the lower paths, rituals and all that. So he was a reformist. But, it does seem like things. So that's why these Mahatmas, they come to adjust something.
Yes.
But
they know everything.
Yeah, they know exactly. It's not possible that they don't know. That's how I feel.
Yes.
And that's why he just didn't want to confuse people. Somebody else might have a different opinion, but that's I don't know, other people can share what they think about Buddhism.
No, you're right. It's like trying to teach Vedanta to a 5-year-old.
Right. 5-year-old, all he wants to be is happy, and you have to find ways, and once in a while when he gets unhappy, then you can bring God in. But at the right way. If you start doing too much, then he's going to get turned off. Yeah. And the same way there are some movements out there, like they talk about Madhvacharya and Ramanuj and all that. They also went to a certain point, but they didn't go to the pure Vedanta. Even when we go to Hare Krishna, they are definitely, they feel you can never be Lord Krishna. But Vedanta is telling you, hey, you and him are same in your essence. And they will say, yeah, and they will take the same Bhagavad Gita Shloka and they will interpret it differently. And
they talk about Krishna consciousness, not just Krishna consciousness.
Yes, they talk about the same things, but then they tell you that you are just a ray of the sun. You can never be the sun. Right?
Yes.
And here it's telling you that, once you give up that mind, body, intellect and merge, you have become the sun.
You are. Yes.
Or you are the sun. But there they don't. Which is okay. That is their path. That's called Bhakti Vedanta. They love to be the Bhakt. They say, हमको मज होना ही नहीं है. हमको तो ये भक्ति में हम लोग को बहुत मजा आता है.
Right. So they are basically stopping at worship and bhajan.
Yeah. I mean, they're just saying that the way to reach God is, or to connect with him is through, doing the service, they call it. Service to the God. That's why they have the deity, they do all that. And they are also very nice. They will, when you go there, they will serve you. without any expectations. They'll give you food, they will try to give you books, they whatever, you know. But they like that separation. But what we are, you know, like Chinmaya Mission, it follows Shankaracharya's Advaita Vedanta, you know. So, and even there is one, sometimes Bharat and I, we listen to, there's an Acharya in Houston of Arya Samaj. And he very clearly says that he believes in that separate thing, because there are different, you know, Madhvacharya and Ramanuj and all that, they have a slightly different, they call it Vishishta Advaita Vedanta. Means they do believe that Prakriti and Purush, they're always two separate, you know. So he said that he believes in that. So fine. So there are different people, but it depends on how you feel at the end, you know, what you connect to. But since we have studied from the very beginning this Advaita Vedanta, I like this a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But what Anilji said, I mean, it's true then. I mean, it's one and the same thing. Sanatana Dharma and the Shunya. It's the same.
Right, if you look at it that way, you can just call it two different ways. Yeah.
I mean, we can say the oneness here, he says Shunya, I mean, Jivan Mukta. He can be here, living as, you know, absolute, knowing and living in the higher, and yet working in this, you know, temporary or which is the body. He could be both at the same time. I mean, Jivan Mukta is like that. Our, you know, our sages, they were there. Wouldn't you say so then?
I don't know exactly what you meant, but what
I meant that Jivan Mukta can be here in this world.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, that's the whole thing about Bhagavad Gita, is that you don't need to wait to die or something to merge. He's saying you can merge while you're here. It's like somebody seeing a dream and knowing fully well it's a dream. That's what basically he's saying.
Right, right.
Saints and sages are at that stage that they have actually merged, but they are still living in this body to help other people.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Shunya in there
Is that merge? True. But I don't know, if you talk to some other Buddhist and all that, they might have a different opinion, you know. But that's why I like Sarvapriya Nanji's explanation the best. It was the most satisfying, that Shunya is the same as Purna. We call it Purna.
Yes, I mean, that's what I thought. It's just one and the same thing, except he didn't say, you know.
Yeah.
So, with Buddha's teachings, so is that what they teach? The very end is the Shunya?
I don't think that they focus. Basically, you know, it's like when all your desires are not there. He also talked about, like, you know, desire cause all these problems, right? So you are, and then they have that eightfold path and all that. He focuses more on those things, but the state you reach is shunya. You know, that's what it is. So shunya sounds little negative, you know, but Purna sounds very full and love and happiness. That's Sat Chit Anand. Imagine Shunya versus Sat Chit Anand. Which one would you pick? I don't know. I'll pick Sat Chit Anand.
But I see them as being the same.
It is. But I'm just saying that it's like if I have to choose the path, I personally I'll go to Vedanta, because it's the most satisfactory in my mind. But I'll respect other people if they. I mean, there are. Personally, I don't even see any difference. I was telling our neighbor, she told me that she loves Buddhism and she always buys books. So I said, in India, you know, we don't even look at Buddhism as separate, right? In fact, he's mentioned in one of the 24 avatars that Buddha is one of the avatars. So he's part of us only, like our whole thing. And we have a lot of respect and we love his teachings and everything. the outside world looks at it as a two different religion. हम लोग को जैन, अभी यहाँ पर अनिल जी बैठे हुए हैं जैन, मेरे को तो जैनिज्म में भी कुछ ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं दिखा देते. दे फोकस ऑन सर्टन एस्पेक्ट्स बट ऑल द बेसिक थिंग्स आर द एग्जैक्टली द सेम. You know,
most religions say that your desires are the cause of your suffering.
right?
So if you start reducing your desires, your grief comes down, and you totally get rid of the desires, you totally get rid of your grief.
Correct. There you go. I mean, you said the whole Vedanta in 2 sentences. But you know, like किसी को कोई चीज अच्छी लगती है, किसी को कोई, तो किसी को बुद्धिस्ट अप्रोच अच्छा लगता है.
Yeah, talking of Jainism and to some extent Buddhism too, both of these religions were like Protestant religions. They were basically protesting against some of the practices.
Right.
To begin with. Of course, the religions have diluted, they're different now from what they began as. But in the beginning, too many rituals, even animal sacrifice, all
Correct.
those things, they were protesting against those.
Yeah, because it can take a wrong turn, because Krishna Bhagwan ne to pehle hi warned kar diya. Remember that previous verse that we did, verse 46, there are so many different paths, and he already said that what is the best one, because in that if you get stuck at just your path, it's like somebody was saying that you buy a nice expensive car and then you keep it in the garage doing its puja, put a cover, you're not using it to take it to your goal. So that's how those rituals became. The ritual became the end. मेरे को इतनी माला करनी है, इतना जप करना है, इतना करना है. Why they are doing वो भी भूल गए वो.
That is true.
Yeah, ना माला जप करते टाइम पे ध्यान कहीं और लगा हुआ है. Kitchen में क्या बन रहा है, this, that. So
and actually, the same thing applies to Jainism and Buddhism. Buddhism of today, Jainism of today are not what they were.
Right.
The founders didn't mean them to be that.
Exactly. Very good point you brought in. Very good point you brought in. इतना डाइल्यूट करके, and कृष्ण भगवान ने ऑलरेडी बोल दिया चैप्टर 4 में कि as the passage of time it gets contaminated.
Yeah.
Then you got to go back and relearn it. And that's why in Chinmaya Mission they will always say that, hey, if you want to learn Bhagavad Gita, go and read the verse and start from there. Don't just assume. I mean, right now on internet, गीता में भगवान ने ऐसा कहा कितना सारा है, एग्जैक्ट चीज बोली भी नहीं होगी उन्होंने.
Yeah, right.
और नमक मिर्च लगा के, and maybe the intentions are good, but that's not what Krishna Bhagwan said. It's very clear. You can't change even one visarg or one matra over here. It's so tightly done. But, because it's a song. Song में पूरा लय होता है, right?
Anji.
That, how scientific it can be. Whether you pick up a copy of 1,000-year-old or today, it is exactly same.
It's the same.
Because they have closed it.
And that's why you have to have full faith when you are reading it.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're not going to get it.
You're not going to get it. Shraddhavan labte gnanam. You already said it. That people who have Shraddha can only... Because जो भी, जो दूसरे लोग Shraddha नहीं है ना, वो लोग ऐसी उल्टी सीधी बातों में अटकते हैं ना कि you feel pity. You feel pity for them. अरे, how many years ago it happened? अरे क्या फर्क पड़ता है 5,000 या 500, whatever. I don't care. Look at the material.
It's the big picture that matters.
Yes. It's like, you are just worrying about the banana peel and you're throwing away the banana.
Yes.
When you get stuck on, oh, did they speak in Sanskrit? How could they speak in Sanskrit? How can it be in a song form? That's the kind of question they ask. Hey, there are people in today's world, they can talk in a song right now.
Yes.
They have that skill. Right?
Yeah.
They can instantly make the poetry. There was a program I was watching, and the guy said he was a master in singing. So he gave him some really like a weird sentence. इसको गा के बताओ. उसने गाना शुरू कर दिया उसमें, पूरा लय बना दिया उसमें से, ट्यून बना दिया उसका.
But it's the message that matters, not how it is.
Right, but that's where the Shraddha comes.
Right.
That if you have Shraddha, you're not going to worry about the small. Or then, and the other thing, you're not going to pluck one little flower and get stuck at that. You know? वो किसी ने कोई रामायण में एक चौपाई है जिसमें उन्होंने कुछ विमेन के बारे में बोला कि 3 थिंग्स ढोल शूद्र एंड विमेन को एक कैटेगरी में डाला उसका कुछ डीपर मीनिंग है आई हैव सीन पीपल दे वर ही वाज लाइक अ रेस नॉट रेसिस क्या बोलते हैं जेंडर में डिफरेंस कर रहे हैं ना दैट्स नॉट व्हाट ही मेंट एनीवे if you read Swamiji's commentary or some Mahatma you will get the right import. And then if one verse you don't like, you are just getting stuck at it and you are get rid of other 700 ones. Yeah. See what I'm saying?
That's where there is a necessity for a good guru,
Absolutely. Like if we didn't have this Chinmayananji and Tejomayananji to guide us, we wouldn't understand what he's saying over here.
And Umaji.
No, I don't know. I'm just repeating what they are saying because I have faith in them, I guess. So that maybe that faith shows.
You would not believe how much clarity you have brought to all of us.
So I think that, to me, that was the main thing when I learned that certain examples really connected with my brain. And then those are the ones that I share with all of you because it made a difference in my understanding. And, I think examples, and especially the way, Krishna Bhagwan has also given examples within, and uske aage bhi, Tejomayananji or Chinmayananji, and then our teacher over there, they gave more even examples. So everything come mixture bringing it, So I'm glad that we are all benefiting from this, this ancient wisdom. Chalo, great. We will see you guys next week.
Sure.
Okay. Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om.
Bye.
Bye.